Welcome to the next episode of this game. Welcome to the next episode. Oh, sorry dude, I destroyed your garbage. Oh, we hit that. Oh no, you're not gonna have a light. Oh no, oh, missed that, whatever. Oh, I forgot to grab this stuff. I knew it. It's not my fault. It's because this goes too slow. Wonder how much those bigger trucks cost, because that's gonna be like way nicer to have those bigger trucks. Chest. Nothing in it. We're gonna throw stuff in it. Oh, we could take this to the collector. Sell this thing. Drop that in there. Drop that thing in there. Drop this thing in there. Won't even fit. It don't. It does not. I thought it was going to. Throw this thing in the back. Okay, that like went robotic mode and just flew away. Let's put it right there. Most expensive thing ever right there. We're about to make a lot of money in this. Alright. We got it all, I think, I hope. I got the expensive stuff, I think. We're gonna make a fortune right after we get rid of one of the expensive things over here. Give cha-ching. We're getting closer. Wait a minute. Is that a road over there? I mean, this entire time I could've went straight. Grandma, don't you say anything. I just know she's laughing. I've gotten stuck in there before. Sheriff. Okay. Run. 2,000 bucks. Alright. Now it's the question, should we buy this place? The answer is, I don't know. I think we have something over here in the lock thing. We'll see what's in it. Go from there.
Morning.
Cha-ching. So I've been thinking. Oh wow, we do have a lot of stuff over here. Let's go there. Actually, I kind of want to go over to what's the box. Sign out. Let's go over there. So I've been thinking about how the economy it's gonna work once everything's replaced by robots. Because you know there ain't gonna be no jobs or none of this. There won't be no income. They won't be able to sell anything if there's no jobs. And then I figured something. If there's robots everywhere, there's no jobs because they're all replaced. The companies won't be able to make money. And then the people will have robots, you know, like your own robots. Why don't the people just use the robots to replace the companies? Because if you have a robot that can mine, it can get material to build itself, the people wouldn't need the companies. So not only will the companies be deleting their workforce, the people will delete the companies because the people won't need the companies to produce stuff because the robot will do it. So then I started thinking, like, it's like a 3-tier failure. And it's like the company's gonna be screwing over the people. I think we had a turn. The company's gonna be screwing over the people, and then the people are gonna screw over the companies, and then companies are gonna freak out because their worker, they won't be able to sell anything. And then the people won't need them because they'll have the robot to replace, you know. It's like, it started getting me thinking, like, they're really gonna end up screwing themselves over by doing this stuff, but yeah, I started thinking about it. Oh, this looks like garbage, but perfect. So, I started thinking. I started thinking about that. And it kind of makes you think how it's going to turn out. And people are saying, oh, you won't be able to buy it because you'll never be able to afford a robot or whatever. The good ones are going to be too expensive. And I'm like, you really think a company that doesn't have nothing because no one can buy their stuff is going to sell you a robot for a very high price? They're going to, you know, they're going to be screwed. They're going to have to get rid of them somehow, and people are going to be able to get them. And I'm like, they're pretty much going to end up destroying themselves, trying to destroy you. And it's going to be very interesting, I think. They think they're going to be like, oh, we're going to get one over on the people, but the people are going to get one over on them. And it really makes you wonder what's coming next. So people are like, oh, you can just have or make your own company to replace them. And it's like, sure, but it takes time, you know, to hire things and build robot. Even using robots, it'll take you time to get that far. So it's like, I think the most valuable thing in the future is gonna be land, not people or robots or whatever. It's gonna be pretty much one robot is gonna be able to do everything. Land, sure, robots, but you know, land's gonna be the most powerful thing. And then as of jobs, I don't think there's gonna be jobs. I really don't. What else? So, I don't know, it makes you wonder. And if you think even deeper about it, one robot is gonna be able to do everything. It's gonna be able to fix your car. It's gonna be able to build the part to fix your car. It's gonna be able to build the parts. So let's say your engine breaks, you go online, buy metal. It's gonna be able to fix it. So, you know, you won't need a mechanic to put the engine in your car. You're not gonna need the company to produce the car because you're gonna be able to fix all the cars with it. So why would you need to buy a new car? You'd be able to buy a junkyard car and then robot would easily fix it. You're not gonna need a factory to produce parts for the car. You're not gonna need any of that. It's just gonna be a robot doing it all. So it really makes you wonder who's actually gonna lose and who's gonna actually come out. And then on top of that, it's like, I don't know. Just make me wonder. Because it's almost like everybody's trying to get or screw over people, and everybody in the end gets screwed over. But it's not even people getting screwed over, it's everybody getting screwed over, you know? People are telling me, oh, you won't have that because the company will never sell you the good robots. And I'm like, you really think if there's no economy, they ain't gonna give you a robot? There won't be no economy, no one will be able to buy them, they'll be pretty much giving them away. It's like,
Afternoon.
I don't know. I feel like mostly it almost feels like we're heading towards a power age because, you know, I feel like you're gonna need data in order to run the robot. So you're gonna have like a storage server to be able to store the data to run it. And then you're gonna need power to run it. So that'll be worth something. And you're gonna need a lot of power. So it's like, makes you wonder. We're not gonna have companies because we won't need them. Is there any auctions over here? Yes. Right over here. Level 30 we can get robots, so we're at level 11. So we better make a name for ourselves to get the newer trucks, the better ones. So yeah, makes you wonder what's coming next. Because, you know, everybody's saying, oh, robots are, and I was thinking, you know, they are going to get rid of all the jobs. And I started thinking deeper and deeper about it. And the more and more I'm realizing everybody's job is going to be gone. Your bosses are going to be gone. Your employees are going to be gone. Everyone pretty much going to be gone. It's going to pretty much be one person running everything. Positive things, populations are dropping, so you aren't really going to have anyone left to even produce stuff. I think the best thing they can do is ban robots from industry, period. Otherwise, you won't have anything. And I think once, like any financial, anything for your people to produce stuff. But I think once the companies realize they're replacing us all, because all the companies are going to get replaced pretty fast, because I think people will get really smart really fast, and they realize, oh, they don't need us. I think a lot of this stuff's going to get banned from the industry, production and all that. And it's going to go pretty fast when, you know, people actually start using their head and actually start ending the companies. So a lot of people will say, no, no, it never happened. And it's like, okay, it makes you wonder what actually is going to happen. But everybody's just after to screw someone else over, and in the end, they're going to screw themselves over. But I don't know. That's my prediction so far, but you'll never know until it happens, so I'm kind of starting to think about it a lot. Because, you know, you don't need a company if you can produce it yourself. All you need is the material to produce it. You don't need the company to produce it if you can produce it yourself. Like, if you could produce a small car or a big truck, why would you need the company to do that? And you have the robot, so I mean, the robot, I guess, is valuable. But if the robot can do everything, you don't need the company. You can just use the robot to produce more robots. I don't know. There ain't gonna be no jobs if that's the case, period. There's just gonna be robots. But you're not gonna have no robots because you won't be able to pay your taxes to, you know, it's like, I don't know. Property will be worth more, but then again, it'll be good and bad because, you know, population's dropping. And it's like, oh, the fast food's gonna get rid of all the workers, and it's like, but we're not gonna need fast food because, you know, you'll have your own robot to do it. You'll be able to build all your own fast food. Why would you go to fast food if you can just build it at your house and not ruin it? The ease of access or use or whatever? I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's getting, and I'm like, I feel like they feel like they're gonna screw over people, and that's why they're pushing so hard for robots. But when it actually happens, all the rich lose their power. Like, instantaneous. And then when that happens, they're all gonna freak out, and it's like, do they even... I don't know. I'm trying to think about what's coming next. Where were we? I don't know where my box is. I'm thinking very hard about what's coming next, so... There it is. So yeah. I know it's not that big of a deal, you know. That won't even fit. That's funny! That's why we need a bigger truck for a $19 little tin can thing. But yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty crazy. No matter what happens. But I think it's more or less gonna be funny. Because it's gonna... I shouldn't say funny. It's gonna be crazy. I think in 3 years of everything going to robots, the most powerful things are gonna be property, electricity, and I feel like a mining type, like a crypto mining, because you won't be able to run the computers without the power to run them, or storage to keep the data to do all of it. So it's like, I feel like it'll be like a crypto mining, but I feel like it'll be easier, more like an app to where, you know, you can just do it. But I don't know, it's gonna be neat. Very, very neat and very, very interesting. But it's all gonna be about how long because it'll take for the people, you know, to build their own stuff and get rid of it. And will anyone even have the idea to do that? And how hard it'll be to program it in order to do that. And I think it'll be big at the start, but when everybody starts, you know, destroying the companies, like, they're all gonna joke like, oh, make your own company to do it. And then when people actually do, it's gonna be a different story. But it's gonna be neat. Very neat. I think groups of people are gonna be interesting. I think churches are gonna have a lot more, you know, because they'll have a lot more people. So they'll have a lot more land overall, so they'll be able to organize and do stuff. The companies themselves won't have power. You know, robots, you won't need a robot company because, keep in mind, computers will be able to program themselves. So an AI will be able to program itself to do stuff, to fix stuff. It'll be able to figure out what the designs are for the parts of the car. It's gonna be just like interesting. I think everything's gonna go so crazy. The people at the biggest disadvantaged are going to be the people who don't understand how computers work and how to adapt for it. Straight, okay. Trying to figure out where the locked door is. So it's going to be a very fast-paced revolution, and people are going to be like, oh, it will take too long to do this, do that, too long to... But, I don't know. I feel like the government is going to ban robots from production, from fast food, from this and that. But it's like, you know, I don't think they will at the start. I think it, government's slow. So I think it's gonna take too long for them to figure out, you know? And on top of that, it's gonna be like very fast. So most of the people saying, oh, you won't be able to do this, that, blah, 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 are the people who are gonna lose the most. Because, they're pretty much lying to you, but it's gonna be very funny, very interesting, very crazy. I keep saying funny, but, everything's gonna go so fast that it's gonna be like... It'll be like... How do I say? The smartest robots, they're gonna say, are gonna be owned by the company, but... I feel like the material the robot's made out of is gonna depend on how much it'll actually matter. The government is gonna ban, as fast as they possibly can, robots being used in industry, because all the jobs are gonna disappear so fast. The people are gonna end up... What's that thing right here? Getting rid of the industry. Oh. Oh, he finished. Okay. We'll go back there. The people are gonna get... Right, there's a car thing over there here. We'll see what it says. Will even give us the prices. The people are gonna be able to get rid of the companies because you won't need the company if you can just produce it yourself. Hey robot, go out back and mine metal so that we can have a car. Hey robot, go out, Nope. So, wonder what the difference is from that one to this one. That box trailer will be nice, that bigger one will be nice. I mean, how big is it? We have one. It's still moving. Runaway car. About 3, I want to say. 1, 2, about 2 more like. 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is gonna be hard to get in. When you open it, does it drop down like a walk thing? I don't know. That one's lower, so I guess it'll be easy to get in and it's tar. Huh. I don't know, we'll have to see. Heading home. So it's getting very interesting. But, I don't know. It's just interesting, too. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know, but... If you think about it... Oh, you have this, oh, you have that. Why would you need a production guy? Why would you need a carpenter? Why would you need any job? So right now, the most obvious, absolute job is going to be the colleges. Because you won't need college experience when you have a robot doing it. So colleges are going to become obsolete. Then you're going to have, and I think people are noticing nobody going to college right now. And they're all getting like, oh, you got to go to college, blah, blah, blah. But robots are going to do it all. Knowledge will help. But actually basis of understanding how stuff is going to work. I think a lot of stuff is going to be ran off computers and data and transferring of data. And I think it's going to get very complex. Like, I think a lot of churches, the people working at them are gonna get good at. That was cool. We just did a jump. Are gonna get good at running the business or whatever. So, you know, running your own company and all that. And it's gonna get very interesting. But like everybody's like, oh, this and that, and tariffs, and it's like people don't understand that when robots come, there is no need for really anything. Like, you know, why would we buy anything from China when you can make it all here? Period. Or in your country. You won't need companies, you won't need any of it. So the best thing that would happen would be banning robots from industry. And I'm not talking CNC. I'm talking more anything that gets rid of the job, or having the robot but having an employee watch it. Pretty much just watch it. The same amount of employees that robot would replace. So you would have literal jobs watching the machine do the job. That would be probably the best thing to do. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, if they ban the robots, they'd also have to ban people from owning the robots, so the people won't replace the companies. But I don't know. People probably wouldn't buy robots if they were expensive. But then again, I don't know. It makes me wonder. I would love to have a smart robot just to figure stuff out. But, you know, property ain't going to be worth nothing if nobody can work on it. But then again, it'll be worth a lot, you know. But then again, I don't know. It's too complicated to think about because people are going to use robots to replace the company. That's going to happen. Because, you know, all these companies are going to be like screwing people over, and then people are going to get so mad, then you're going to have groups just buying the robots, and then they'll have them themselves replacing the company. You're going to have a couple things. Secure stuff so that if you have a robot, is it going to be secure? You're going to have almost like secure GPU, CPU, data, transfer, all that. You're going to have a big demand on that. You're going to have a big demand on processing power, data storage. There's going to be a big demand for property. There's going to be a big demand for somehow paying your taxes. There's going to be a massive job loss. Like 98% of the population is going to lose their job. Everybody will lose their job to AI. But will it be banned before they all take the jobs? I don't know. Small companies are going to be at the most disadvantage until people say, no, we're not buying the cheap stuff because it's not worth nothing. Or are they going to buy it? Or are they, it's just, I don't know. It's going to be so much of just a circle of losses. The biggest thing that'll happen when everybody loses their jobs to robots, all the companies will be at a disadvantage from people buying their stuff because, you know, everything will be so cheap. And people will be building their own robots because the robot will be able to tell it how to build itself, how to make, you know, everything. It makes me wonder, like, how hard it is to mine metal and what resources, because if a robot can tell you how to do it, you would think the robot would be able to calculate or figure out a way to produce an item using stuff. Like, let's say everything comes from certain components. Like, so let's say carbons. If you could make a resource to the original, like rewind it to the other resources, like to the beginning resources, could you use those resources to make another one? Like change its path. So you could use like sand to make metal, or would the robot be able to do that? Just makes you wonder. and then your pretty much land would be more profitable. You could use the robot to change the DNA of a tree to make it so hardwood grows like in a day. And it's like they'd be able to cure every disease. So, companies that are hiding or let's say not giving you cures to diseases, the robots will solve it all. So you won't need no big pharma, no nothing. So it's like, I don't know, it's gonna be crazy. And I don't think they've caught on to the fact that they're literally deleting the companies that are gonna be screwing you over. But it's like, okay. um, I think it's gonna be super interesting. But yeah. And on top of that, will the people even do it? Because if everybody gets together and says we're not gonna buy it, we're just gonna produce it ourselves, all those companies with robots, if they can't sell their product, it's gone. So the companies themselves have shut down overnight. Um, it's going to be very interesting, but right now the population, is going to be heading downhill everywhere. So is it even going to be able to go upwards, or are we going to have the robots to replace the workers that we won't have? And honestly, so many people don't want any type of family because the way stuff is nowadays, everybody's fighting about everything. So a lot of people like me, I am like, why would I go through chaos to have a family when it's just so chaotic? But I don't know. I'm thinking more and more, is it even a good idea to have a kid when everything's gonna be gone? I don't know. I guess maybe, but if everything's run by a robot, who's gonna be telling, who's gonna be programming the robot? They're gonna be watching you? I mean, is it gonna be secure, or is the robot gonna lie to you, say it's secure, and I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. Um, I gave you a lot to think about, I think. Maybe this will be a viral video. I doubt it. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see everyone in the next one. Bye bye.